Here is another quick 9 playthrough here on the channel for you all. The date and the divisions, of course, shown on screen in the thumbnail. Remember to hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. Timestamps in the description down below, and remember the replays here are from old tournaments, so use the old ball attribute levels, which have now, of course, doubled. Hope you're enjoying Quick 9. Good luck, and remember to tweak according to your clubs and balls and wind angles. Here we go. Here we're going to play with the Kingmaker and the APOC. And we're going to go with 5.8 topspin to right spin. This is all about getting the drive distance correct. Here you may, in some cases, roll down the slope. If you're doing that in practice, then reduce the topspin slightly. Topper +4 with APOC 5 and above. Topper +10 with APOC 4. I've got the clear ring touching the rough with APOC 5 and 6. You will have approximately half of the clear ring overlapping the rough with APOC 4. Max +10. Here I go with circle drop OP. But as I said, if you have more crosswind angle, you may not need the OP. It may get you to roll down the slope. So that's why I say take a token or two first. Otherwise, you might have to play with a different club. So try and build in some tweaks if you can. Ideally, you want to stop just before you roll down the big slope there, around 380 yards. Second shot, if you can play with the Grizzly, that's what I've done here as your drop reference. But be prepared to improvise. If you do get a glitch roll down the slope, then you're going to be playing with a Thorn, but it won't endanger the birdie. Adding spin as shown is going to be around 1.5 top spin, 1 left spin. Then we're pushing up rings from min and counting our rings from min until we have the red ring touching the rough. I've pushed up 11 rings from min here. Then I'm finding position with the red ring touching rough and the ball guide offset about half a green square away from the pin. Make sure you try and replicate that offset as best you can, because the wind is going to push us down to the right once we've cleared the rough. Rings from min, 15% elevation, pulling twice over the bullseye here, and 11 rings from min. That was coming out at 14% on the slider. So 14% slider, 15% elevation. Like I said though, try and get a bit more comfortable with the drive. Tweak the spin or the overpower if you're finding yourself rolling down the fairway a little bit too far. And the rings from min here though has been dropping very nicely for the eagle. Any form of tailwind, we can use the sniper. We are going to set up at the top of +9 yards. Here, and I'm looking at the ball guide before spin, going to point that one at the hole. It is quite far away, so zoom in and look if you have time. Then we add spin. Here I'm going with 1.2 backspin, and in the end we're going to use some left spin because the wind is going left to right. I settle on 1 bar of side spin to the left. If you've got wind from right to left, obviously you would then use right spin to offset the other side of pin to counter the wind effect. Adjustment here is going to be medium distance, 20% elevation, power 6 numbers. There are other shots you can play here. You can set up on the next fairway pad with backspin, a load more backspin. In headwind, you can also play driver rough bump. Very good chance there. But obviously, take a token or two. You might need to tweak or apply some overpower, depending on how you set up the shot. But you've got options here. We're going with just before circle break underpower in tailwind angle, otherwise we are going to have the second bounce in the rough. Little bit of a tweak needed here, but it gives you an option to work with. Drive with the Berserker here. Now take note of the wind strength here. If you do have a wind above 15, be very, very careful about how you push up. I'm stretching out to complete max. 6 bars of topspin, 2 bars side spin to the right. I go with red ring touching the rough with APOC 7. I would like you to shift over to the left 1 ring. With APOC 5, obviously the rings are going to be different size, so just look at the second bounce as well. Max +20 is my adjustment. Then I push up about 5 rings here, but be careful. This was in practice mode. On my actual attempt, I had a wind of 15.6. I pushed up 4 rings and I landed directly into the rough. So please be careful in strong winds. Err on the side of caution with your push-up. You see, even that was close, to be honest, so you might actually want to adjust less. Maybe go with max +15. Either way, left edge of the ball touching the triangle of curl to the right.
but just get this one down there, but be careful of the wind on this one, because very easy to roll in the rough. Here I'm just going with a rough bump to get on the green. To be honest, I thought about the bounce over, but I was in between clubs. So I'm going with top spin and some side spin to the right, and here I'm estimating club distance and playing it 20% downhill. I will be the first to admit here this is not a close attempt, but it just gets the ball out there nicely for an eagle. So just play safe golf here. To be honest, like I said, be careful with the wind direction and strength on the drive, because when you've got a berserker, any slight nuance in angle change or strength may mean you carry the rough. So be careful, but just get this one out here with the rough bump and take your eagle and run. Any form of tailwind here, we can play NMT with APOC 5 and above. So load the hole with your Kingmaker. Then we add spin, 5.8 top spin, and we're going to go with 2 bars of side spin to the right in this wind angle. If you have wind going from right to left, then I would actually play with all 3 bars of side spin as a suggestion, because the wind is obviously going to push you closer to the rough. This is a bit of a tight line on the drive though, so I would encourage a practice token regardless of the wind angle you have. If you have headwind, I will play out to the right hand side and leave yourself a long distance approach, because you're not going to make that over here with an NMT shot unless you have tailwind. Adjustment was max plus 10, slow needle, full overpower, just missing the rough there on the right, so we could adjust it more or just move the landing position half a ring if you're worried about that. But we get a good rollout, 433 yards. This is going to be a no spin shot with the thorn here, so I'm counting up rings from min. It's 1% slider per ring from min. I'm 22 rings up from min here, and because I have crosswind going from left to right, I offset the ball guide to point just at the left edge of the cup. I do the opposite if the wind was in the opposite direction. Straight tailwind, leave the tip of the ball guide slightly short of the hole, but you can still play the same adjustment, and that is rings from min with 5% elevation, pulling over the bullseye. Ignore the fact that I did a ball swap here. That's just to speed up getting the shots ready here for the channel. Regular Kingmaker will work fine. I was just hitting a load of great balls on the day. Dropping it nicely for the eagle.
Now, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so. Details on the screen now. As part of your perks on certain days for the Quick Nines, there will be some Patreon exclusive Master General playthroughs for those holes used. So make sure you check us out there.
Oh, this is a nasty one here, but we're still going to use a Kingmaker. I am going with 2 bars of backspin and 1.2 side spin to the right. Apply spin and find your position here. Look at where the ball guide is aiming. It's into the light green square column to the right of the second lot of dark green squares. That's about the best I can explain there. You'd have to pause the video. Adjustment here. You ready for it? Maximum distance plus 50. Max plus 50. As you can see, we're just adjusting down the cliff there, so I go with baby overpower, only a fraction though, and a little bit of curl to the right. Now it's up to you how much curl you want to risk here. If you over curl it or you hit great right, you could end up in the sand. So it depends how aggressive you want to be, but this, you know what, for a Kingmaker, I'm going to happily settle for that one. Just a little tap in for a birdie.
With the Kingmaker here looking for eagle and no more than that, adding 4 top spin, and then we are going to play with the APOC and the Cataclysm, or the big dog, whichever you have that you want to use. Topper plus 10 with APOC 5 and above, and we're aiming towards the very tip of that fairway. APOC 4, you're going to be at P3 max rest, but still add your spin, 4 top spin, and just aim right down the tip of that fairway. Max plus 5, power 3 is what I go with in the video here. You will see I land slightly left of centre on the fairway after I've taken my shot. If you want to, you could play with power 4 numbers just to make sure that you're a bit more in the middle of the fairway. But bear in mind the second shot here is based on this drive placement. So if you want to tweak, of course, feel free to do so. But we're getting a good distance here of around 360 yards. Second shot, we're going to add 0.8 top spin and 3 left spin first. Then we find our position at P3 max rest, and you want the second bounce just where the rough line is. You might need to tweak the top spin if you had different distance of drive. Once we find that position, you respin to 0.8 topspin, so the same topspin, but you change to half a bar of left spin. Now it does look strange, but like I said, the wind is going to do the rest of the work here. We're adjusting max +5 power 3 settings. And then it's time to take our shot. Of course, important to hit perfect here with lower accuracy clubs. And we're going with no curl, just a perfect ball, and the wind will push us into the rough, and the top spin will roll us just nicely out onto the green. And all I'm looking for here is a safe way to reach the green and putt for the eagle. Now, although you can support us financially on Patreon, you can also join as a free member. If you do that, you will get bonus master level text guide content from the Coalition. They produce text guides for free every tournament, free to play balls, and we send those out when they do so. And they very kindly agreed to let me share their archives of all the courses used in this season of Quick Nines for you all to use, because there may be some wind angles that you get as part of the Quick Nines that they have in their archive. So you will receive those if you join us as a free member on our Patreon.
I'm going with max topspin for the Thor's Hammer level 6. What I would advise doing here though is going with half a bar or 1 bar of side spin to the left, because you will see the wind, and we have strong wind here for a Kingmaker, will push us more to the rough on the right. So I'm backing up, I'm playing from +0 with the Thor's Hammer level 6, but I am still adjusting maximum numbers +20. Okay, so max +20. And then we're going to take our shot, hitting perfect, which of course is wonderful. And you will see here, even without that side spin to the left, look, we're just getting a bit too close to comfort, to be honest. So I would go with half a bar or 1 bar of side spin to the left. Now, the idea here is to be within grizzly range. So with this drive, I'm going to show you 2 options. I'm playing min line is closer to the green. So I'm pushing up a little bit here so I can play 10% slider. And then I think I use 10% elevation as well. But this is a difficult one. We've got to apply some backspin here when we're nearer to the green. But we're going to leave the ball guide a bit short. I do need to add some more backspin here or back up slightly. Obviously the choice is yours. This is going to be a difficult shot to drop, especially with a Kingmaker, to be honest, but we're just going to give it a go. Worst case scenario, you're going to get a very, very safe birdie. Hit perfect. So I'm playing 10% slider. And look at it, we just get a zoom in. Sadly, it is on the 3rd bounce, but it's not a million miles away. Now, with my second account, my main, I played with a bar of left spin on the drive, so I'm further away from the green. So here I'm pushing up more rings. But because we're further away, I can actually play with less backspin. And I think this is a better approach, to be honest. So I'm just showing you 2 options. Going here with, what do I settle on? 2 bars or 1 bar and a half, 2 bars of backspin, something like that. And ball guide slightly short of the pin. Now here I'm playing this one in between minimum and medium distance. So that equates to 25% slider. However, once again, we might need to tweak some elevation here. I think I played it 0, or we need to just back up slightly with the ball guide. I do favour this approach rather than the 4 bars of backspin, but we're just coming in a little bit to the left, but just a smidge off there. Very good chance though with that approach.
Another NMT setup with the quarterback and a Kingmaker here. I've dropped this with multiple wind strengths as well. We're going to go with 1.8 backspin and 1.4 right spin. Unusual spin amounts, but take a token or 2, put a tweak in if your eyes see the decimals a little bit different to me. But the adjustment here is min +15 power 3 settings. Min +15 power 3. I do 5.8 and then the remaining 5 to the bullseye. Just to have that said, try and replicate as much as you can here. And a perfect ball here, centering, no curl, no overpower, unless you're building in any tweaks. Bouncing very nicely over the rough and the sand, and we're rolling in for a hole in 1. If you are enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to help out and keep everything free, then please consider making a small donation. All donations are gratefully received and help me out here on the channel, as all of the content here is produced for free in my own spare time. You can do that in one of three ways. You can hit the thanks button here on YouTube, you can make a PayPal donation via the link in the description down below, or you can also join us over on Patreon. Details at the end of the video. If you get straight tailwind on this par 5, I will be very tempted to put a berserker on and blast it to try and get to wedge range. But if you can't do that, you will need a layup option, and that's what we've got here. We're setting up with the rock, white ring touching the rough at the plus yard shown. Then I switch to APOC because there is some headwind to deal with here. 5.8 top spin, 3 bars left spin. Ignore the fact that I'm using a precision ball here. This will work with a Kingmaker. I was just using a precision ball just to speed up the content creation process. So once we've switched to APOC, we adjust max +5. I go with full overpower. Now you can see the precision does help here. It is a bit of a shakier needle. You could set up further back if you have more top spin available. That will obviously give you a smoother needle if you wanted to play with APOC 7 or above, or APOC 6 even, or extra mile 9. But I believe you've got a great either side, and we get down the fairway over the rough. Second shot, I'm going to play with sniper. We are into sniper range here. Obviously, if you have more direct headwind off the tee, I would actually pack the Cataclysm or Big Dog just to make sure that you're going to reach for your eagle. But if possible, the sniper gives you a good chance for an albatross here with a free-to-play ball. A little bit of top spin and 3 right spin. Will vary depending on your drive though. Here I'm estimating my club distance to be around 70% because I'm just out of plus yards with sniper 10. I'm having the ball guide to the hole. Here I'm going to adjust true club distance with 25% elevation, so it is going to be quite a few rings, but leave yourself plenty of time to do this and you'll be fine. If you don't drop this one though, you'll have an easy putt for the eagle. This was coming in very hot, so I would actually take the top spin off if I was to play this wind angle again. Bear in mind, if you adjust in the opposite direction up the hill, you will gain distance on your landing position, so you might want to apply a couple of clicks of underpower to compensate. But if you can't send it, there's still a good chance for the drop. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.